Good day, cricket fans, and welcome back to the IslandStats.com Cricket Show. It's Sunday, which means it's time to dive deep into all the action from the local pitches right here in Bermuda. We'll be dissecting the weekend's clashes, celebrating standout performances, and looking ahead to what's next in the 2025 season. Whether you were at the grounds or following online, we've got all the angles covered, so grab your coffee, settle in, and let's talk cricket. Well, good evening and welcome to this edition of the Island Stats Cricket Show. I'm your host, Earl Baston. Joining me is co-host Terry Frey. Terry, what a weekend we've had in cricket. Yesterday, second round of the Western County Cup competition. Willocots went in as defending champions and cup holders after winning the first round, and they took on Somerset Bridge. But Bridge had a surprise for them, and lo and behold, Somerset Bridge won the second round of the Western County Cup by 38 runs in a low-scoring match. Somerset Bridge were bowled out for 158 and then turned around and bowled Willocots out for 120. Then today, if you thought excitement happened yesterday, it was more excitement at Lords and St. David's, where St. David's Cricket Club defeated Bailey's Bay by 1 wicket in a low-scoring match. Bailey's Bay batted first and were all out for 129. St. David's would score 133 for 9. At the Southampton Oval, Workmen's Club won by 78 runs over Somerset Cricket Club. Workmen scored 315. They had 2 Centurions in the match and then bowled Somerset out for 237. In the first division, Southampton Rangers won by 168 runs over PHC. Southampton Rangers scored 211 and then bowled PHC out for 43. Currently going on down at Wellington Oval, St. George's Cricket Club have scored 233 all out, and at present, Cleveland County are 146 for 9 in the run chase. So we'll keep an eye on that match. But Terry, let's start off obviously with the excitement at the Western County, because going into the match, I don't think too many people would have given Somerset Bridge even a half a chance. Based on current performance, but cricket's a funny sport.
Yeah. Cricket can be so unforgiving sometimes. I had a conversation with Noel Gibbons earlier this afternoon about cricket and how cricket can be, a leveler. It can happen at a whim's notice. And with Somerset Bridge scoring 158, I'm sure Willocots were fairly confident that they'll be able to chase that down. But it only takes one ball to change the game.
That's right.
And I'm sure that's what took place in yesterday's game, where the complacency of Willocots put them in that predicament.
Yeah, I mean, I know Somerset Bridge won the toss, and they must have looked at the wicket and figured, okay, let's get ours first, based on their league performance with the inclusion of Jamel Proctor from Somerset and Alan Douglas from Devonshire Rec in their team. I guess they were figuring they try and get these guys some runs early. Proctor and Sean Riley had a good stance to open the inning, but then they started losing wickets around Allen, who scored 44 off of 42 balls. But the only other Samir Tavares scored 29. Double figures. Donnie Charles 15. But that 158, and like you said, Willocots would have come off the field thinking, you know what? Okay, we scored close to 300 or 300 last week. This is a walk in the park. But they lost Dwight for 4. They lost Ross Solomon Burrows for 13. Casey James went for 15. Dominic Sabir went for 23. And when Deontay Darrell got out on 31, everything imploded.
Yeah.
Everything imploded. I mean, they were at one point in time when Crazy got out, they were 44 for 3. And then when Deontay got out, they were 102 for 4. So Deontay and I believe Deontay and Dominique put on close to 50 odd runs for that 4 wicket partnership, but they still found them because Somerset Breeders knew they were only 1 wicket away from getting into the tail of Willicott.
Right.
And when they got that wicket, Deontay went from Noah Woods, and then Jamal Proctor trapped Dominic Sabir in the very next over. There you had it, So now everybody in the pavilion from Willicott are looking around and saying, okay, where can we get 50 runs from? Because that's what they needed. They were 102 for 5. Going from 102 for 3 to 102 for 5.
Right.
And looking around saying, where am I gonna get these runs from? Who's gonna get these runs for me? And that's like you said, that's the funny part of the game.
Mm-hmm. That's why I always say when you got a batsman that's in or a batsman that gets a start, they have to continue on. Mm-hmm. They have to carry on. Because you can't rely on what's coming behind you because you just don't know. Cricket is like that. Right. I've seen that time and time again this season already, where you got teams that getting good starts, and the out 60, 70 runs. The whole team build out 60, 70 runs later.
Yeah. So it's funny now that when we look around and we say which team's going to show up on the day, because I'm pretty sure Willicott would have been looking past Somerset Bridge if they're going to be honest. They would have said, you know what, okay, this can be an easy one. Who's next? Warwick? So
I'm sure they had one eye on Bridge. One eye on the next run.
And that's the problem. The eye that they were looking at for the next run was the eye that they got cheated.
That's right.
They got stumped out on.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah.
Well, congratulations to Somerset Bridge. I'm pretty sure they'll be excited to be in the final round of the Western County Cup, being that Rangers have pulled out. So it's just going to be 3 rounds as opposed to 4 rounds. So, they'll be playing Somerset Bridge playing Warwick for a title. In the Western County Cup final. So good luck to both teams on that.
Teams. Yeah,
definitely.
It's good to see. Definitely.
Yes, yes. I'm pretty sure. Warwick used to have a big following.
Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure they will be out. And so will now the Somerset Bridge people.
Yes, like the old days.
Yes. It'd be red and white and yellow and blue.
Yeah. That's right. Yep.
Yeah, all around White Hill.
That's good stuff.
So great. Yeah. Let's turn our attention to today because a lot of people would have been looking at today's clash between St. David's and Bayless Bay as 2 of the top teams in the Premier Division this season, and obviously to add in that spice, the Eastern County rivals. Bayless Bay Windy Toss decide to go to bat at Lords, and wickets fall on a regular basis, which it was surprising. And I'll say it. I think the experiment with Taryn batting number 3, it's not working. It's clearly not working. Psychologically, some people need to open if they're an opener. Some people need to bat at number 3 if that's the spot. Moving them around, if you don't see it working, then you have to psychologically put that person back in that position.
Yeah.
And allow yourself to be, to build on whatever they're able to do. Actually, Bayless Bay did get a good throw out. They got 63, or the first wicket or for the first 12 overs. So you're not in a hurry, but you got a good start. You had Shirai Tavares with 15. You had Cooley Dorm scored 48. The next batsman that was in double figures was Jordan Burgess on 19, and Michael Agard scored 15. But when you start looking at Taryn 4, Azende 6, Delray 5, Jarrett 6, Rodney 5, just you lose that bulk of your batting. Collectively, they scored 22 runs.
Yep, I agree. I mean, like I said, I watched that game today, and I just put it down to poor shot selection.
Right.
Everybody seems to be in a hurry, and it just goes right back to how I always speak about when a batsman's in, he has to carry on. Like for instance, Cooley batted very well up front there. Never looked trouble. Looked trouble. The only person that was get Cooley out was going to be himself.
Right.
But he threw his wicket away, and he threw it away in a soft way.
Right.
And I'm sure he was very, very disappointed with the way he got out, because the boy Tavares had just got out just prior to that.
Right.
Right. And Tavares was looking good as well. And once again, hitting the ball in the air unnecessarily, because it's a few early days in the innings.
Yeah.
And these guys are hitting the ball in the air, but picking the fielders out. And that to me was disappointing from the beginning, because they got a great start, 62, 63, something like that.
63,
couldn't ask for a better start.
Yeah.
But somebody's got to bat through that innings, man.
Right.
And then of course, you got Taryn that came in, he didn't last. Delray came in, he didn't last.
Right.
Azende, and then Jarrett. These are top quality batsmen, and you get them cheap.
Right.
And you are gonna make 120.
Yeah.
30. And they really should have made 220, 230.
Right.
Because I think the wicket was a little bit too paced. One end was kicking a little bit.
Right.
But that's no excuse when you're in. And I just feel that sometimes the batsmen get bored.
Right.
Do something completely different from what they've already been doing that's made them successful up to that point.
Right. I looked at the Berlin figures, and we always talk about the dot ball scenario. Derek Boole, 10 overs, 1 maiden, 3 for 39, but he had 49 dot balls. Justin Pitcher, 9.1 overs, 1 maiden, 3 for 29, 42 dot balls. Kevin Fubler, 7 overs, 1 maiden, 2 for 19, 31 dot balls. OJ Pitcher-Bull, 1.4 overs. He gave up 1 run, took 1 wicket, but had 9 dot balls from what is that? 10 overs. I mean, 10 balls, 9 dot balls. So just Berlin in the right areas, and putting the pressure on, proved St. David's had always kept niggling away, and the Bailey's Bay batsman, as you've already indicated, didn't show any patience.
Yeah. The shot selection left a lot to be desired.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure St. David's would have walked off the field and said, you know what? Just as Willa cuts the day before. This should be easy.
Yes.
You only have to get 129. But guess what? The fifth ball of the first inning, first over, Marcus Scotland was back in the pavilion. The fifth over, Dean Simons was back in the pavilion. The seventh over, Trey Manders was back in the pavilion, and they were 13 for 3.
Right. Yep.
Onias Bascom was back in the pavilion in the ninth over, and they were 4 for 22. Isaiah O'Brien back in the pavilion in the 12th over, 5 for 39. Ricardo Bringman, 15th over, 6 for 55.
Yep.
OJ Pitcher, who came in first wicket down. He only scored 10 runs, but he hung around for a while.
Yes.
But he was back in the pavilion. Now there's 7 for 56 in the 16th over.
Right.
7 wickets down.
Yep.
So now at the wicket is Justin Pitcher and Derek Brinkman. They took the score from 56 to 101 when Justin got out in the 28th over. Still needing 29 runs for victory. And then they lost Kevin Fubler 5 runs later in the 31st over. So now they're 106 for 9. And young Aaron Painter comes to the wicket to join Derek Brinkman, and they managed to pull it over the line and get 133. It's one of those things that, I mean, we talked about, if you look at it, Marcus Scotland a dock, Dean Simon 7, OJ Pitcher 10, Trey Mendes 2, Onias Bascom 7, Isaiah O'Brien 13, Ricardo Bregman 11. If you look at it, there's some quality batsmen in who I just named off, and amongst them, they were all back in the pavilion now, staring at a defeat in so many. You know what I mean? You're looking and saying, okay, who can save us now? And I think, you know, a lot of people don't look at someone like Derek Brinkman as a quality guy that could hold you back. And he scored a couple of centuries last year,
right?
Some 50s last year. So you never want to count someone like him out. And he proved today he could hold his nerve. He just had to have somebody to stay with him.
Right.
And Aaron Painter was the one that stayed with him.
Yep. Yes. I mean, if you look at the trends in the batting, you know, St. Davis was very similar to what Bayless Bay was guilty of, which was shot selection. But again, you know, these guys seem to be like they're still in this T20 mode. You know, when it's not necessary, you got 300 balls.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of balls, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So hopefully there will be, you know, some better betting to come very soon out of these top teams.
Right.
You know, I mean, the Berlin was good.
Right.
You know what I mean? It wasn't nothing extraordinary. I will give a lot of credit to Kyle Hudson.
Yeah, he really built well. Yeah.
He did. He didn't only just swing the ball, but he cut the ball too.
Right.
Which is even more dangerous to a batsman. You know what I mean? But he built his quota right through.
Right through, yeah. Tanner was one made and 4 for 41. Yeah.
You know, that was the only bowler that I felt that probably, you know, prized out batsmen. You know what I mean?
Right.
And worked them out. But the others were just normal bowling. Just getting it in that area there and let the batsman make the mistake.
Right. Yeah. Well, lessons learned on both sides, I guess. Don't take things for granted and play to the end. That'll be, you know, win, lose, or draw. You gotta just play to the end and don't underestimate the opposition's total because they have theirs. You have to get it. You know?
Yeah. And the other observation I had, I felt that Bayless Bay were much better in the field than St. David's.
Oh, okay.
You know, I don't think they dropped any catches.
Right.
And if they did was, you know, close calls.
Right.
You know, where I saw 2 distinct misses that St. David's had, you know, where balls were dropping in between fielders and somebody's not calling and some missed fielding. But, you know, I felt that Bayless Bay were better in the field.
Right.
So that game could have been anyway.
True.
You know, because they're both fairly balanced teams if you know, matching up.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, let's take our first commercial break, and when we come back, we'll be looking at the match between Warwick and Somerset, and we'll have an update on the St. George's Cleveland County game that was still going on. We'll be right back.
Do you ever crack open a Coke and just perfect?
It's that cold, classic hit that never lets you down.
Whether you're chilling with friends or just need a break, you can't go wrong with Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
Nothing else compares.
Proudly distributed by Butterfield and Vallis.
Planning a summer get-together? Start with Barrett's Mixers. From club soda to tonic water and everything in between. Whether it's a backyard barbecue or a beachside picnic, Barrett's has the perfect mix for your summertime drinks. Stock up, cool down, and mix it your way. Available now at Lindo's, distributed by John Barrett & Sons. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
Beneath the cloud blue sky, where the ocean meets the line, and the long tails fly in Bermuda. Our hearts belong to this beautiful island. As an island, we are strong, proudly Bermudian. In every single way, from the sunrise to the sunset, and every single day for over 135 years. It's been clear, Lady Silence, proudly Bermudian, bringing us near. Cause we are proudly Bermudian. Digital is proudly Bermudian. Digital is proudly Bermudian.
And welcome back. Well, we'll bring you the latest from the Wellington Oval, where St. George's Cricket Club have won by 84 runs over Cleveland County. St. George's won the toss, went to bat. They would score 233. They had Jason Anderson, the opening bat, scoring 70 off of 125 balls, 7 fours, 3 sixes. Jonte Smith adding 45 off of 60. Mackay Simmons, 26. Detroit Smith, 10. Sinclair Smith, 22. So they had the 33 extras. Mackay McGowan, 3 for 41 off of 9. He had 38 dot balls. Mackay Young, 10 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 35, 42 dot balls. Jabari Darrell, 8.2 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 45, 34 dot balls. Qshai Darrell, 10 overs, none for 43, but had 42 dot balls. So they had a young man, Burgess, 5 overs, 3 for 24. He had 20 dot balls. It's just that despite the dot balls, they were giving up quite a few runs, Terry, for St. George's to get 233 in 48.2 overs.
Wow. Yeah. at least, Cleveland gave a better account of themselves.
Definitely.
So there is some progress being made there.
Right.
That, could be very encouraging for them.
Yeah.
St. George's is a stronger team.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland is basically in a rebuild.
Yes.
So, like I said, the good thing is in this situation, they were a little bit more competitive in this game today.
Definitely, yeah. In the run chase, they scored 149. They had Jabari Darrell score 40. Derwin Adams scored 23. Mackay Young 15. They were the only batters in double figures. You had Enzari Painter 2 for 26 from 9, 38 dot balls. Isaiah Greaves 2 for 38 from 7. Zachariah Edmond, who scored a century last week, turns around and builds 4 overs, 1 maiden, 2 for 16 this week. And I think he was out for a duck, so he must say, "I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do something."
At least he contributed.
Yes. Zico took 2 for 28 off of 9. And Mackay took 1 for 22 off of 7. So, like you said, Cleveland, they made a good account of themselves, putting up 149 runs, batting out a good portion of the overs, 38 overs, which it's something to build on. They just need to keep looking at what they've done this week, eliminate the small things, but build on what you've been able to accomplish.
Right.
I think that's heading in that with them heading in the right direction, and that's what they have to look forward to, without a doubt. So, we just want to encourage Cleveland to
Most definitely.
keep on that joyride and enjoy themselves at the wicket. Up at Southampton Oval, Terry, Warwick Workman scored 310 in their 50 overs. I'm sorry, 315 in their 50 overs. They got 102 from Zerai Tomlinson.
Okay.
And 100 from Kamal Levrock in the middle of the inning. Those two put on 130 odd runs for the fourth wicket partnership. They took the score from 66 to 190 in 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 overs. In 19 overs, they scored 130 runs. But it was the partnership. That's what Warwick needed at the time. At the time, Warwick was sitting there 66 for 3.
Right.
And, these two put on a good stand. Zerai faced 95 balls, hitting 10 fours and 5 sixes. And Kamal faced 79 balls, hitting 10 fours and 5 sixes. So they were able to pick. And surprisingly enough, Somerset haven't been giving up runs like that.
Right.
Jamel Proctor, 10 overs, 1 made and 2 for 41. Dominique Sabir, 10 overs, 2 for 50. Antonio Darrow, 10 overs, 4 for 82. Gennaro Bull, 10 overs, 1 for 35. Janico Francis built 4 overs. He gave up 40, very expensive, gave up 44 runs, 7 dot balls in that. Jade Morrissey gave up 37 runs. Edward Oldboy gave up 15 runs in the 1 over he bowled, and Azar Morrissey gave up 10 runs in the 1 over he bowled. I guess what Somerset was trying when Zerai and Kamal would have been batting was to try anybody to see if they can,
buy a wicket.
Yeah. It just did not work. Both of them scoring 100 runs. 315. And last week we were talking about it. Herbie was mentioning. Got to get runs on certain fields. So 315 at Southampton Oval. Somerset would have been feeling, okay, we're in form. We're able to make runs. Let's go out here and just bet positive. But they found themselves in trouble because Kamal picked up 2 quick wickets in, the 7th over, the 5th over, and the 7th over to have Dominique back in the pavilion and Jarrah Aziz back in the pavilion, 2 for 38. So they were always, from there, they were constantly chasing. Amari Eben was out when the score was on 63. Jamal Proctor was out when the score was on 80. And then they lost 3 wickets from 116 for 5 to 119 for 7.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So there you had, and then here comes Gennaro late in the order, makes 79. That gets him up to a total of 237. But his 79 came off of 65 balls. He had 6 fours and 5 sixes. But his batting way down the order.
Right.
So, his contribution is so late that Warwick's on top, and they just have to make sure that they bowl around him kind of thing, and that, it makes the game a little more easier.
Yeah. I mean, was it 315?
315, yeah.
That's a good score. Even though Rangers is a smallish field,
right?
That's still going to be a pretty good chase from some. You know what I mean? And they would need to get an exceptionally good start.
Yeah.
And if you're lost like wickets, we said 5th and 7th over,
right?
You're on the back foot, and one of those batsmen is Sabir.
Yes, yeah.
Which is one of the more accomplished batsmen.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
so they'll be under the gun from that point forward for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, there are going to be times where you struggle, and collectively today, Somerset struggled as a team, both bat and ball. But I know you, and you know, somebody like Gennaro, he'll go back to the fundamentals, and this
Yes.
week they will concentrate on certain things. You know,
Yes.
despite it being so close to cup match, they have the cup match training, but they'll still have that league training that they, you know, puts them back into focus on what got them that early start, you know,
Right.
to the season where they were beating teams,
Yes.
and they just have to get back to that part. And I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it won't take Gennaro long to convince guys to let's get back into
Yeah.
those simple things.
That's right.
You know, so yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah. Well, let's take our second commercial break, and when we come back, we'll look at the first division match between Southampton Rangers and PHC. Two football teams, trading coaches and so forth, and
See that?
yeah,
Oh, that. I saw that.
yeah. We'll be right back.
All right.
Planning a summer get-together? Start with Barrett's Mixers. From club soda to tonic water and everything in between. Whether it's a backyard barbecue or a beachside picnic, Barrett's has the perfect mix for your summertime drinks. Stock up, cool down, and mix it your way. Available now at Lindo's, distributed by John Barrett & Sons. Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
The pink sands beneath the clear blue sky, where the ocean meets the land, and the long tails fly in Bermuda. Our hearts belong to this beautiful island. As an island, we are strong, proudly Bermudian. In every single way, from the sunrise to the sunset, and every single day for over 135 years. It's been clear, Lady Silence, proudly Bermudian, bringing us near. Cause we are proudly Bermudian. Lady Silence, proudly Bermudian. Lady Silence, proudly Bermudian.
You ever crack open a Coke and just perfect?
It's that cold, classic hit that never lets you down.
Whether you're chilling with friends or just need a break, you can't go wrong with Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
Nothing else compares.
Proudly distributed by Butterfield and Vallis.
And welcome back. Well, that first division match between Southampton Rangers and PAC, just after Southampton Rangers picked up the former PAC coach for football, the two teams clashed at the PAC Stadium, where Southampton Rangers won by 168 runs. They scored 211 in their inning. Started a bit slow, but picked it up with 65 from Arundé Bascom, 54 from Dion Stovall. Pretty much the only other batsman in double figures was Captain Dalen Richardson with 18 and Darian Gibbons with 14. They lost. They got about. Actually, they did get a good start. 76 for 1 after 10 overs before Nakari Smith was out. But then Allende Baskin was going for when the score was on 76. Then Arundé and Dion took the score to 142. But then they lost Jordan on 145, Dalen on 179. Dion eventually went on 185, and Dante Wellman on 187, Swain Campbell on 209, Gibbons on 209, and then Mackay Jacobs on 211. But you look at the PAC bowling attack, you had Charles Trott bowled 8 overs, 1 maiden, 3 for 51, 30 dot balls. Deontay Durling, 8 overs, 1 for 51, 31 dot balls. Sage Carter, 6 overs, 1 for 37, 15 dot balls. Chris Douglas took 3 for 42 off of 8.3, 24 dot balls. And Isaac Todd, young Isaac Todd, took 2 for 21 off of 3 overs and hit 11 dot balls. So, PAC, they done well to restrict a team like Rangers who when we look at their weekly scoring, they're scoring 250 plus each time. But to get them down to 211, PAC would have felt a sense of accomplishment of restricting them to just a total of 211 for a team like Rangers who have been scoring freely of late. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, again, when you look at Rangers making those big scores previous to this game, with our batsmen regularly contributing, it will always be a challenge for PHC. But to have them restricted to 211, that would be an accomplishment. That should be a plus for PHC going forward. They just need to put together a good batting unit now.
Right.
Partnerships and see if they can be even closer.
Yeah, that was the problem right from the start, because they were out for 43. They were 1 for 2 in the second over, 2 for 5 in the fourth over, 3 for 12 in the seventh over, 4 for 33 in the 13th over, 5 for 42, 17th over, 6 for 42 in the 17th over, 3 balls later, 7 for 43, 8 for 43, 9 for 43, and all out for 43. Only batsman in double figures was Chris Douglas on 20. You had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 dots. 5 dots, and Deontay Durlin was out for naught from 3 balls. Renacio Hunt was out for naught, 3 balls. Antoine Russell out for naught, 4 balls. Simon's out for naught or for 2 balls, and Taylor Tankard not out without scoring off of 3 balls. And Dion Stubble really ripped through him because Dion bowled 5 overs, 3 maidens, 3 runs for 5 wickets.
Yeah.
Dante Bregman, 5 overs, 1 maiden, 2 for 13. They just said Darian Gibbons, 2.2 overs, 1 for 4. He had 11 dot balls. We look at Dion. Dion had 28 dot balls. Swain Campbell, 3 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 5, 15 dot balls. It was just the constant pressure that Rangers put on PHC and never took that chokehold off. Just kept at them the whole time, putting the ball in the right spots. And unfortunately for PHC, again, patience and allowing themselves to be, dismissed for 43 runs. Not a good all-round performance for the day.
No. Yeah, but like I said, the only positive they would take out of this game is restricting Rangers. So, obviously they did something a little bit better than they did in previous games.
Right.
So there is a positive in that. And then it's now hopefully somebody or a few of those batsmen in there could string together a couple of good scores and some partnerships so they can get a little closer.
Yeah.
Those type of teams are developing. You know what I mean? So they're always got to be looking at the positives that they're doing every Sunday or every weekend that they're playing, and then build on that. And then also work on the things that they didn't do so well. But that's where the coaching comes in.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Now, this week coming up is a very interesting week as the first round of the Eastern County will take place. Eastern County has a big tradition. Large crowd shows up and people are entertained. I'm gonna put you on the spot, Terry. Your Flats, Victoria. You need to build Bayless Bay out. Do you take Brianna Ray as a builder, or do you not make history and not pick the first female to play Eastern County? What do you do?
If she is, if she qualifies to play, I would play her. I mean, she's been playing all season with the team, right?
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure Kamal will come into the
Yes.
fray. You know what I mean?
Right.
I will play Brianna, most definitely.
Yeah. That would make it the first female,
Mhm.
I believe, the first female to play in Eastern County. Which I mean, it would be good for the game. I would guarantee you it would draw a lot more interest, and it would have. Although they might not say it will, but none of those Bayless Bay boys want to be billed out or be given out. Brianna Ray.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. That's right.
One ball, mate.
Hey, listen. And I've had previous talks when she was in Australia, and I noticed when she was playing against the men, she was more determined, as a bowler. And she said it herself that she just seems to bowl better against the men than she does against the women. It's just one of those things. But I think that would add excitement to it. I mean, could you imagine Flats picking Brianna to play Eastern County? Boy.
I'll say this, she's good enough to play.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. All eyes on Flats this week there.
And Bay needs to come with that A game.
Well, I was just gonna say, I mean, they have to shake off. They would have to shake off today's disappointment and go back to the drawing board and make sure that they have every little piece that they need to retain the trophy in place, because you don't want to underestimate what Flats is going to bring. And as you said, on the day, one ball. And that's all you need. Once you get into Bayless Bay's, I guess, psyche of wickets falling, on a regular basis, hey, then your back's up. So 10 o'clock, nothing at all. 9:30 when that toss is taken. Depending on the conditions and everything, the decisions made, and then you take it from there. And hopefully, at 6 o'clock, there's a winner. Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, it just makes it more interesting and more fun to see what happens come Saturday. You had your turn in that Eastern County. Just getting rid. I mean, the team you was in there, good grief, and the teams you were playing against. You look at, because you play for Bayless Bay, right?
No. I play Western County.
Western County, yeah.
I play Western County.
But back then,
Lloyd played in Eastern County.
Eastern County for Flats, yes. But just looking at those teams back in the day, man, any one person with the bat or with the ball can make a difference on the day, and that's what these guys and this what these lads have to realize today, that if you apply yourself, you could be the change.
That's
you could be the change. And look, nobody would have given Somerset Bridge half a chance, but now they're the cup holders. One win away from being the 2025 Western County champions. So
that's right.
There's always a possibility. No matter when the game starts, everybody's even. So you just have to play.
Yeah,
just have to play. So let's look at the top players from this week. And we'll start off with Dion Stubble taking 5 wickets for 3 runs and scoring 54 runs. You look at the Zerai Tomlinson scoring 102 for Warwick. Kamal Leverock scoring 100 and taking 2 wickets. You had Jason Anderson scoring 70 for St. George. Obviously, well, you look at the stands that not a lot of runs, but Derek Brinkman played to get St. David's over the line. You know, you have to look at each scenario the way you look at it, because his contribution of 38 runs would have seemed like a century. You know, to get St. David's over that line against
Maybe he got a couple of wickets too, didn't he?
Yes. He got 2 wickets as well. Gennaro Tucker 79 for Somerset. So if you had to pin it down, I already have an idea of who I want. You want to go first?
Okay, it would be a toss-up between the boy Tomlinson and Derek. Now, because I'm an advocate of youth, I would lean to the youngster, Tomlinson.
Okay, well, we win.
Huh?
we win because that's who I hear.
Yeah, and not dismissing Derek's contribution.
Right.
I thought he batted very, very well under pressure.
Yeah, Derek or Dion's contribution. Yes.
Definitely. You know, and he got those couple of wickets.
Right.
But when you see a youngster coming up, you know, like this youngster Tomlinson, and making 100, and making against Somerset, who's a really good team, really good in attack.
Yeah.
You know, I would lean towards the youngster.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And right on to him as well.
Yeah. And to Leonard, we take your point. Derek really would have contributed, as Terry said, very well to St. David's getting over that line, both bat and ball, and as a skipper leading this team to victory. That's, you know, there's a big attributes, and you know, we look forward to even more from Derek in weeks to come. So you have an early night tonight, Terry, but thank you very much for joining. Folks, we'll be back next week, Sunday, with another edition of the Island Stats Cricket Show right here on islandstats.com. Enjoy your week, and good luck to the teams at the Eastern County Cup competition, which gets underway on Saturday at Lord's in St. David's. Enjoy your night.
Night, Arrow.
All right.